What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of High Performers. Today we have Joe joining us, and as always, we're bringing on marketers and entrepreneurs so that we can talk about things they're working on, give you actionable tips to get you better performance out of your marketing, and ultimately help you grow your business. So, Joe, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, glad to be here, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Give us a quick rundown just on your title and company and where you're at currently.
Currently I'm the marketing manager for Lighthouse Technology Services. We're a tech firm specializing in contract recruiting and managed IT services. We're on floor 28 of Seneca One. We're neighbors with Brian and Interlace Digital that they're on 29. Had to represent Seneca One today, coming on for the interview.
I love it.
Yeah, but my role as marketing manager is really, exciting right now that I'm coming into a company as kind of like the marketing architect and kind of building our whole marketing operation. The start of the job has been a lot of really clarifying our brand, making sure the team's on board and, showing them, hey, this is what marketing can do. And this is what marketing can enable you to do in your work and stuff like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
So my background. It's exciting when you're one of the early team members in a department, and like you said, architect is a good word for it because you really are building a foundation for whatever's about to come next, which is probably a variety of things.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching, we're going to try something new to get this thing started off. I wanted to do something that we can learn from our guests here, a little bit about them personally, and just have some fun with it. So we're going to do 2 truths and a lie. Joe has already sent those over to me, so I'm going to read those off. If you guys are watching, leave a comment or DM which answer you think is a lie, and we will select someone for a $15 gift card for Amazon or Starbucks, or if you have another preference, we'll work on that. But so for Joe here from Lighthouse Technologies, everybody pay attention closely. We have he attended 5 different schools in 5 years. That's impressive. Summer is his favorite season in Buffalo. Buffalo has great summers. And he's played a hockey game at the Buffalo Sabres home arena, which I love. I'm not much of a hockey guy, but I know there was quite a game last night. Eichel coming back to haunt us a little bit.
You know what? Buffalo loves a good villain to rally around. So, disappointing, but Sabres are on the right track. So it's a fun time.
I love it. All right. So, guys, if you can guess the lie, we have 5 different schools in 5 years. Summer is his favorite season in Buffalo. And he's played a hockey game in the Buffalo Sabres home arena. So leave a comment or DM, and we will select a winner once everyone's had a chance to view this. So thank you for playing along, and excited to get someone a little gift card. Why not? So into the good stuff. Obviously, the core of this show is to try and give people some actionable tips, things that maybe you and your team have done over the last 6 to 12 months. I'm sure you've tried a variety of things, but maybe one thing in particular that's really helped you guys, or you've just seen good results from, and maybe other people can take it from there and try it themselves. So give us an idea, maybe what you've been working on at Lighthouse, and maybe something in particular that has worked really well for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. A lot of what my focus has been prior in my career and then now at Lighthouse is in organic social. LinkedIn's our primary platform. We do a lot of recruiting, so we're directly sourcing job candidates from LinkedIn. It's where a lot of our target customers are spending their time, reading about industry news, things like that. So in terms of social, like building up our LinkedIn presence as Lighthouse and as building the personal brands and starting to get some content from our team has been a really big priority. And we've had some good success with it at first too. And, my big tactic here is that one of the tools we've used and experimented with to really help with getting content out to our team members is that within LinkedIn, if you've used Clearview Social or anything like that before, LinkedIn has its own native employee advocacy tool that's actually really handy to use. If you go to your LinkedIn page, there's an area for content and then recommend content to employees. And, I myself as the page admin, I can draft up some copy for a post, make it look nice and professional, all the hashtags we want to use. I can leave an area of like customizable. So like when I write it for my team, I just kind of leave brackets of like, hey, add 1 sentence on XYZ from your perspective. And I can upload all the photos and videos and have them all prepared and everything looking real polished. And then it comes down to just one link that I can send to my team. And within two clicks, they can publish their own polished LinkedIn post. So that's been really good for us, just to make distribution really easy beyond just posting to our company page.
I love that. I would say, because we do quite a bit of LinkedIn as well. I'm a fan of LinkedIn. I've always used it. And for a lot of B2B clients, obviously that is the go-to. I feel like that content tab on your company page is like wildly underused most of the time, or at least in my case it has. Because when you dropped that tip to me, knowing that we were going to talk about it, it's something that I've seen, but never really knew how to take advantage of it. So you can find content based on search terms you put in, or you can follow certain industries to find content.
Yeah, that's something I've used in past jobs before. We haven't done that with Lighthouse yet, but there's lots of filtering options as well based on industry, types of publications, just general current events and things like that too. There's tons of options, and LinkedIn makes it really easy to connect and share that with your team. The one thing I would say is the analytics are not quite as robust as I would like. But we have manually been able to track and see really great results from that.
I love it. Yeah, LinkedIn, they're getting there, I think, but they're always a little bit behind the other platforms, sort of new tools, analytics, some of those things. But there's enough to work with. So when you're able to send that out to your team to post, that gets sent does it get sent via email to them or a message? You can send them a direct link. Like, how does that, what are the logistics of that? Once you have a post you want them to share, what are their steps like on their end?
Yeah, I'll kind of walk through the example of the last time that we did this. Recently, Lighthouse was nominated for an award at the Infotech Western New York betas for best tech culture among small companies. So the way that I did that for recommended LinkedIn content was like I was saying earlier. I left an area for our team to kind of fill in a sentence on what they love about Lighthouse, our company culture, and then some standard text about like, hey, we're excited to be nominated for this award. We'll see you at the Infotech betas, and a little graphic and some hashtags and things like that. So once that was done, the way I approached that to my team was take the shareable link from LinkedIn and give them that link along with instructions of how to share a post. But I also, like as myself, I want to lead by example. So I, made my own post and said, hey, here's the link to make your own post from LinkedIn, but also here you can view what the finished product looked like on my post, and kind of like, start to generate some ideas and kind of, give them an idea of what the final product looks like after they go through it.
Yeah, I love it. Has it been, whether it's in current job at Lighthouse or even past jobs, is it difficult to get employees to buy in, to get them to share the social media? Like, does it have to come from kind of maybe alignment with leadership saying, hey guys, we want everyone to do this? Or do you find you're able to kind of communicate that value yourself enough to where, they're bought in and they go do it? Because I feel like sometimes people have a tough time getting their team to take action, even though if personally, it's something they should be doing.
Yeah, for sure. I can kind of speak first to past jobs. I used to work with Haley Marketing in the staffing and recruiting industry, and worked with a lot of clients across there. There were some companies who really bought in well and understood the value of not only personal brands and being visible, but the distribution aspect of how sharing company content beyond just your own LinkedIn page was beneficial. I think what helps a lot is when leadership is flexible and makes it natural for everybody. So I have to give another shout out to Randy Harris, our CEO at Lighthouse, that he's really encouraging of people to be visible and kind of sharing the benefits of being a presence in our community and sharing content and things like that. So a lot of our team members are naturally kind of encouraged by that to share content. A lot of people who have been brought in for a recruiting team kind of have a marketing, personal branding background, so they're already familiar with a lot of the value proposition behind that. So it's been a pretty easy sell at Lighthouse. And the team, understands that it's a small time commitment, but they're willing to put that in, and that makes a big difference for me because, working as a solo marketer, like it's big to have, the rest of the team being able to chip in and help out.
Yeah, you need that. Like you said, maybe the staffing industry is a bit more, most people in that industry are a bit more well-versed in LinkedIn, ready to share. It's kind of part of the job. I know Claire over there is crazy on LinkedIn. So you got one very strong advocate, I know. And I've even, not having worked with you guys directly, just seeing what you guys have done at Lighthouse Technologies, it's definitely easily viewable from like an external standpoint of the activity you guys have on LinkedIn, the kind of camaraderie it seems like with the team, which is huge because a lot of people don't get that buy-in. So I guess it's a good example for other companies, maybe B2B brands, just seeing how a team is working together, even if you're kind of leading the charge, putting the pieces in place, how important it is, especially for the leader, what a CEO of the company, something like that, to say, hey, yeah, guys, this is something we need to do. And everyone kind of at that point is like, okay, not that they don't ever listen to the marketing manager or something like that, but when it comes from, the top down, it's almost like you don't have an option. This is something that we want to do. And then having employees horizontally with you that can advocate for that too is really, really valuable. I wish more companies would give off the same energy that Lighthouse is towards some of that. And like you said, it sounds like it's coming back in results as well. I know you had a LinkedIn post maybe a couple of weeks ago or pretty recently about you guys achieving the 5,000 follower mark on LinkedIn and going past that. So is that something too? Like, are you, let me rephrase this. I think one thing I've seen is using analytics and results, to go back and kind of reinforce that message that maybe you and leadership are passing down of, hey guys, social is important. Okay, hey, check out the milestones we're hitting, check out the results we're getting. Like, this is actually working and it's worth our time and energy. So what's that been like, hitting milestones, and maybe how do you share those things with the team through reporting or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So really, when I think about something like follower count, and I know this is a very heated debate that like some people say, oh, follower count's a vanity metric, don't worry about it. Other people are like, follower count's great, like you need to build your audience, really lean on it. I subscribe very much to the thought process that something's only a vanity metric if you don't have something important to tie it to. And so for us, looking at LinkedIn as a platform where people are getting to know us as a company in terms of the work we do and us, like the people who make up the company, growing that audience is really important. And we're only 16 employees too. So being able to have a larger presence on social media, gives us a little more gravitas when we're having some conversations and things like that. I think that's a really big factor as well. And we have some team members as well who have, individual LinkedIn followings, in the thousands, or, even mentioning Claire Stroh, who's in the tens of thousands. That really helps as well too.
Yeah.
Some of the things that have helped us, in terms of growing that, we definitely use the invite connections feature. So we're constantly connecting with new people from throughout Buffalo's technology community, from clients we're working with, things like that. We definitely make a conscious effort to, encourage people not only to follow us on LinkedIn, but explicitly use the follow feature that we have as admins. So we're making sure to invite people who are, already in our network, already know us, and really build affinity through them following us on social. And some of those people who we invite end up being the most engaged on our platforms.
Yeah, that's something I've tried a little bit with. Our interlace page is still small, but I've seen that work well, and I think I need to get more consistent with it. Maybe more people do, but there's a set number. There's like a limit on how many invites you can send, right? Maybe per person.
Yeah. So it's 250 invites every 30 days, I believe, and it's between all the admins of a page. So we have 7 or 8 people who are admins on our page, just because we have a lot of people who are tied into a lot of the recruiting work we also do through LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. We only get that many invites between all of us. So, when we're going through and, really taking a focus of like, hey, let's invite a bunch of people, we have to be conscious of who's inviting who and be a little more clear on like, okay, like let's really focus on this client and let's invite 250 people from them this month. things
So
like
it's
that.
250 per person or 250 for the page across all admins?
Per the page across all admins.
Okay. So I was about to say you could game that a little bit if everyone got 250.
I was very excited. I was really going to try at one point, but
Yeah.
yeah, the little they hide it under the little question bubble that then it pops up the notice of, hey, no, this was shared across all admins.
Yeah, I've certainly seen that. I guess I wasn't like I have Sales Navigator, so I wasn't sure if that was just my personal number of invites or if that's for the company page. But that makes sense because otherwise that could probably get a little out of control. But that's another great tactic too. And I completely agree that audience numbers are important. I think people, like you said, who think they're just vanity metric, it's because they're not doing anything with that audience maybe. But if you're actively putting, my whole thought behind it is if you're actively putting time and resources into creating content, wouldn't you want more people to see that content? Like if we're posting, why are we posting? You know what I mean? If new people aren't coming to see it, engage with it. So I think they go hand in hand. And I think anyone, maybe to prove the doubters wrong, if you go and talk to someone that does have a big audience, like you guys have grown over 5,000 followers on a company page, that's a pretty high number. I mean, you see other big enterprise, huge corporations that have, tens or hundreds of thousands of followers, but even getting over 1,000 followers, a couple thousand followers, that's pretty great for a company page. And yeah, I think if you go talk to a brand, like you guys clearly value that audience and are actively growing it. If you talk to someone that has done that, they're probably pretty happy about that community that they're growing and they want to put out better content for it and get better engagement out of that audience as well. Because I think there's another maybe myth out there a little bit of where people are like, oh, well, even if you have a big organic audience, only 2% of people are going to see it anyways. And it's like, it's only the case if your content sucks. If you have good content, you might have way better engagement rates. You might have 10%, 20% engagement rate if you have the right audience and you're putting out content that they enjoy. You don't have to be a part of that stereotype where only 2%, hits. Maybe on Facebook pages, that platform. Maybe I can't speak to that one. But when it comes to like Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, some of these other platforms, I mean, you can get great engagement if you have a good audience and your content is, aligned with them. So huge value in that.
Actually, if I can add something real quick, Brian, just kind of in that vein too. Something that I kind of learned going, back through the last 2 years of my job when I was working at Nichols School in marketing too. And this ties into the conversation about audiences as well. I've really kind of started to look more at when judging whether a piece of social content was successful on like an engagement rate per impression, as opposed to an engagement rate per like page follower and things like that. And the reason for that is that obviously these platforms are dictated by algorithms that we don't know. We can try all the hacks we want, but at the end of the day, we don't have control over them. We only have control over, okay, whoever the algorithm shows that content to, are people engaging with it? And that's kind of how I judge my success as a social media marketer of like, okay, am I putting out stuff that that's resonating with our audience and stuff like that? So as you grow the page following, you're going to get more impressions, and then kind of see how engagements grow from there. So at Lighthouse, we're kind of at the point now where, 7 months in, we've been, pretty consistent on LinkedIn. We can kind of start grading performance more based on that. But it's always just kind of like, there's lots of different metrics out there. It's just a matter of, how you use them.
I love that. I've gone as far as with some of our clients, I'll try and make like a bit of a conversion formula out of it. So people might think of conversions more just on the website side, where how many visitors turned into a book demo or a contact form, where what you're saying, okay, how many impressions actually turned into an interaction or an engagement? And then maybe what percent of that came into followers? Because I think you'll start to see, and we've done that for some of our clients that come to us really wanting audience growth as one of their, main focuses. It's like, all right, we hit, 300,000 impressions. That brought in maybe 5,000 engagements or 2,500 engagements over that 30-day period. And we picked up 90 followers from it. You can start to put some percents to it of maybe what that audience funnel looks like and how that converts. And I don't think a lot of people think of it that way. I think it gets brushed aside sometimes. It's just a vanity metric, whatever. It's like, I don't know, if you really hit it hard for 6 months and you start to see what you can do with it. And like you're saying, you actually look at the content itself, what's actually engaging, what's really bringing followers. You'll definitely see trends like in what content people are enjoying, and maybe what you can go, make more of. So I love that. You guys are definitely playing the LinkedIn game correctly. over at Lighthouse, and people should definitely take note a little bit. So it's definitely been a pleasure to see what you guys are doing over there. I feel like you and the team are crushing it, and just super appreciate you coming on here and sharing some of that. There's a lot more value in that comment than I even thought initially. So I learned a couple things there as well. But yeah, thank you again for hopping on, and can't wait to share this with everyone.
This has been awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Brian.